see through the plot. Hidden signs, clues they thought I forgot. Maps upside down, no ground to the sky. Truth on my mind while the world asks why. Oh, chasing what they hide. Oh, tinfoil on tonight. Ancient towers crumble, but secrets remain. Stories of Tartaria lost in the rain. False flags waving, a shadow parade. Digging for answers they want to evade. Picture perfect on the news, but I see the lines. Never take the story straight, I read between signs. Tinfoil hat on, I see through the plot. Hidden signs, clues they thought I forgot. Maps upside down, no ground to the sky. Truth on my mind while the world asks why. Oh, chasing what they hide. Oh, tinfoil on tonight.
Hello, welcome to my new channel. Thank you for some of you that have come across. I don't expect too many people to find this too early, but it's a conspiracy theorist dream having 3 million Epstein file logs dropped in one Sunday evening. It's been 6 years of waiting. It's been a long time coming, and some of the stuff I've uncovered in the last few days is absolutely incredible. I just want to say thank you to the people that do find this and the people that have already subscribed to the channel, finding us from Rabbit Hole Ramblings, where we do a regular conspiracy talk over there. I wanted to do something on my own and branch out and try and create something on my own around these particular subjects. It's a passion of mine for a long time, but this drop that we received on Sunday is a conspiracy theorist dream. So I'll bring you up to speed with what I found so far, and I'm sure some of you have maybe seen some of the other content creators that have dropped some information on it already, but I've downloaded the files. I'm going into the files, and it's unbelievable. It's absolutely shocking. Some of the things I'm reading, it's unbelievable. But anyway, just wanted to say thank you to everybody who tunes in and finds this channel somehow or some way. And hopefully we can give you a little bit of entertainment. I'll do them quite regularly. If you could just like and subscribe, maybe give us a little share, I'll greatly appreciate it. I'm Nikos, I'm the host, and I'll tell you what I found. As you may know, massive trove of material from the US Justice Department was released on Sunday night. Roughly 3 million pages of documents related to the investigations into the Jeffrey Epstein and his network, along with over 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. That's incredible. These files include FBI records, investigative files, emails, court documents, photos, and other material compiled over the years of inquiries. With the new law, the transparency law, this is the Epstein File Transparency Act, which is a bipartisan law passed by Congress, and the Department of Justice makes it Epstein-related materials now public for us all to read. And it's scandalous. There's still lots of redactions. Unlike the first one, you can't highlight and copy and paste it onto a Word document. They've learned the error of their ways this particular time round, and they've been able to actually redact some information off of the files. But I'm sure there'll be someone out there who is capable of unredacting at some point. But as we don't need too much unredacting at this point, because what we found already is absolutely scandalous. There's lots of powerful names that have been mentioned, names such as Sergey Brin, obviously the president of Google and Alphabet, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, Prince Andrew, who we all I kind of expected would probably like to see in there. Elon Musk has been mentioned in this particular one. We've also seen George Bush Sr. That was a shocking one that I found. George Bush Sr. We've got Bill Gates on numerous emails, Chuck Schumer, Alan Dershowitz, Bill Clinton, and Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, to give you an idea of how many times these names are mentioned in the email files alone, we have Bill Gates mentioned 6,384 times. We have Donald Trump mentioned 5,361 times. We have Bill Clinton mentioned 3,954 times. And we have Barack Obama mentioned 2,577 times. And this is just in the email files from Jeffrey Epstein's correspondent email. Now, he uses an email address, jeevacation@gmail.com. That would have been his initials, Jeffrey Edward Epstein, vacation@gmail.com. So all these powerful people that have corresponded with him have had his vacation email address or that particular address to correspond with him and arrange meetings, parties, social events, and everything else. We'll start right off the top with Elon Musk. Elon Musk communicated with Jeffrey Epstein on numerous occasions. One of the first ones I found was in December 2013, where he asked if, hi Jeff, I was thinking of flying down for an epic vacation. The email was titled Epic Vacation. I was told you was having a party with lots of girls. I cleaned my calendar. What are the details? Thank you, good sir. It actually was rejected by Jeffrey Epstein. He wasn't too keen on Elon attending his party by the looks of it. He forwarded it on to his secretary, who is in a lot of the emails linked to jeevacations@gmail.com, and just said, deal with this. That was his response. He didn't actually reply directly to Elon. And the secretary replied to Elon saying, I'm so sorry, Elon, you missed it. Jeffrey has actually told me he's winding down the Little St. James operation. If it starts up again, I'll be sure to let you know. There was a further correspondence between the two in December of that year. And it's just said, Christmas and New Year, I will send the helicopter for you. I'll be in St. Bart's over the holidays. When should I visit? So there may be a particular reason why Elon Musk wasn't too keen on Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe he wanted these files released because maybe he wasn't allowed to go to the island. I'm not quite sure. But it's definitely quite interesting that his name comes up a few times. I haven't found too much slander or anything too incriminating on Elon Musk just as yet, but I'm a fraction of the way through. To give you an idea, I've probably got into about 40,000 of the documents of the 3 million. So it's ridiculous. Some other powerful names that were mentioned on there, Bill Gates. Well, I know a lot of people would have probably expected to see there. He's corresponded with him on numerous occasions, and one in particular was about March 2017, the deliverables and scope of pandemic simulations with Jeffrey Epstein. He actually asked him with planning of simulations for a pandemic 2 years prior to the big pandemic we all experienced, which is quite interesting. I will be getting into a lot of the details with that. And also there's some information about a particular disease that Bill Gates allegedly had contracted in the company of Jeffrey Epstein, and asked him to supply him with some particular medicine to help him not only get rid of his particular disease, but also his wife, Melinda Gates, who he also shortly after got divorced from, funny enough. So again, I'll bring a lot more detailed information into these later on, but that was from March 2017. Another one that kind of struck a chord with me quite interestingly was Peter Thiel. A lot of you know be from the tech communities, philanthropist. In 2016, as you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. Now, this is a question a lot of people are interested in about what Jeffrey Epstein maybe was up to and who he was aligned with and how he became so powerful or how he was so well connected. He actually confessed to Peter Thiel in an email in December 2016, quote, as you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds and was hoping you could help in a way for a bank to do something with $160 billion under management in tech. So he's self-confessed that he's a representative of the Rothschild family connections, which I thought was quite a good one as well. Very, very interesting. Peter Thiel actually replied to him saying, definitely not in Saudi. Just think I'll avoid the Middle East in total for the next 10 years. And this was in 2016. So very, very interesting. Also as well, there's lots of information with regards to some of the other people I named on the list there. big, powerful people such as Jeff Bezos and Sergey Brin, obviously tech CEOs. They were all confirmed to be in attendance for one of his particular dinner parties in 2017. This particular party was held at Blue Water Cave in Vancouver, and the email was from March 2014, confirmed for that same week. Both were in attendance and both were CEOs of their companies at the time. So these big, powerful people were all meeting with Jeffrey Epstein all over the place, and they all corresponded through this email address, jeevacation@gmail.com. Now, there is a very concerning one that I did actually come across, which is from the 28th of August, 2019, and it was a victim interviewed by the FBI. And they actually claimed and alleged in their confession under oath that George W. Bush was upon a yacht in America, and there was some unaliving and ritual sacrifice that happened to minors, and he was a culprit and an accomplice, which is scandalous. 28th of August, 2019. That wasn't something that actually was on my radar when I looked into these. And a very, very similar email in October 2020, Prince Andrew was alleged to have done something similar. In the 1990s, Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, who was close friends or allies, allegiance with Prince Andrew, recruited a girl from a modeling company. And instead of actually putting her into modeling, she sold her as a slave. This was a slave for torture, and Prince Andrew was an accomplice to her death and helped with her torture. This is in one of the files from October 2020. Also, other victim testimonies that are in these files, as I mentioned, they're not all just emails from Jeffrey Epstein's jeevacation@gmail.com. They're actually testimonies from some of the victims and all different types of compiled information. Mr. Donald Trump was mentioned. Mr. Donald Trump was mentioned at his Mar-a-Lago parties called calendar girls. He would Jeffrey Epstein was alleged to bring the girls to the parties, and Trump would auction them off. He rated the girls, the young minors, and he would also be the person who was actually auctioning them off. In the auction rooms of all of these parties, the attendees included Ghislaine Maxwell, Elon Musk, Ivanka Trump, Eric and Don Jr. Trump, also Alan Dershowitz and Bob Shapiro, and also a lot of older men, is what the actual testimony was. They was used as a trafficking ring, and also at Trump's golf course in Rancho Place in Verdes. They also were alleged to have buried after orgies and threatened to end victims' lives and turn them into fertilizer on the ninth hole. These are all self-testimonies that are in these documents. It's quite scandalous, to be honest. Another powerful person that I've come across, which was quite interesting, who is the current 41st US Secretary of Commerce, a guy called Howard Lutnick. He was corresponding with Jeffrey Epstein about attending the island. He asked him, "Where are you located for my captain on his boat?" He had a private boat. He was looking to attend the parties. And his quote was, "Does Sunday evening sound good? I have another couple with me on my boat, and each of us have 4 children," which is quite a damning email, if you can think of the context of why that would be asked. Very, very interesting. Also, as well, there was a guy in March 2013 called Roy Hodges, and he sent an email to Jeffrey Epstein saying, "The crew really appreciated the pizza today. Thank you for letting us do that." The correspondence between the two people I've just started to get into, but there seems to be a lot of stuff to get into. There seems to be droves and droves of information. One of the other interesting, lots of different interesting parts to these files, and they're very scattergunned around. So, forgive me for not being able to articulate it in a very direct way and calculated, but they're very, very all over the place. A guy called Robert Thirrs, in a 17th of December 2018 email, he actually confessed that there's a trans agenda movement with Jeffrey Epstein, and we are now pushing the intervention earlier. So the transgender has come up in these emails as well, and that was in 2018. So it's very, very interesting. But one of the things I found quite compelling and quite interesting was the talk of digital currencies. I know a lot of people are into Bitcoin, digital currencies and things of this nature. In April 25th, 2015, in one of the emails, it claims that Israel took control of Bitcoin by paying the salaries of 3 of the 5 key developers. as Bitcoin and digital currencies, this is a quote, as Bitcoin and digital currencies have started to become an important trend, Media Labs has launched an intervention. The way that it is organized, there are currently 5 key developers and 100 contributors. Linux, they described, was what would be doing, they'll be using to make changes to the core code. So any of the conspiracy theorists out there who believe that maybe some of these cryptocurrencies have been hijacked by particular countries or particular people, there's actually emails confessing that that is what they've been doing. So very, very interesting. There are lots of interesting stuff going on there. I just wanted to bring in a first video to this channel and let you know what I'm digging into. As I mentioned, I'm only 40,000 emails into 3 million. So I'm sure I'm going to have my hands dirty over the next few weeks and whatnot. And I look forward to maybe bringing a new show more regularly. I'm going to try and bring something at least once a week, talk about some of the things we found. Obviously, being a new channel, I'm just looking to dip my toes into the water right now, make it a lot more user-friendly on the eyes as we go along. Looking forward to sort of updating all the interface and, you know, bringing a few more gimmicks to the channel. But I wanted just to sort of bring some of this information to people's attention. You know, as I said, it's a conspiracy theorist dream, seeing 3 million emails that we've waited 6 years to see. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for, as I said, there's lots of subscribers that have come across from, you know, the Rabbit Hole Ramblings and have listened to us over the last year or two. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can help grow this channel with, you know, same like-minded people who love the conspiracies. But thank you very much. Have yourself a good evening. I look forward to seeing you soon.